Welcome back to Til Kingdom Come, the podcast.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Ivanna, and it has been a really long time since we've seen you.
Very long. I'm going to assume maybe the entire pregnancy.
Well, I think we announced we were pregnant. I told you we were pregnant. We went to Florida, but it's been probably like 6 months. So we're so thankful for those of you who have stuck around and asked and prayed and just like written to us on Instagram. We love you guys and so sorry we've been so lost. But good news. We have a baby and she's right there. She's currently sleeping. So we're really hoping we can get through this podcast.
I like to say we're kind of definitely giving the Spanish parents vibe because we're going to definitely be loud and talk while she's napping, because there's only been a few moments where we've tried to just kind of whisper while she naps, but it doesn't work.
He says that, but when it took me a really long time to put her down to sleep, you can bet I'm whispering and staying really quiet so she can stay sleeping. So you can officially call us Mom and Dad. But we wanted to do this podcast in order to catch you guys up to what's been happening, say hi to everyone. Also, I cut my hair. Instagram saw it first. If you don't follow us on Instagram, here is our handle. And so you can see what we've been up to, which we're trying to come back on social. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get really good at it.
So not the last, but the pregnancy was definitely something to celebrate and honor the Lord in. Like, Ivanna just crushed it. There's so many people that was like, why are you not bedridden? Why do you feel so good? And we just kind of just say, it's all the Lord, for her to be able to go through the full 40 weeks and, get to the finish line and just not really have a lot of complications, which we're so grateful for. And, we know people that had complications. So it was like we were taking authority to just pray into those situations as well, and just thanking God that we had a really smooth pregnancy. And I guess I'm sharing with you this because we want to kind of catch you up. So we're going to assume that you haven't really heard from us since, let's just say, August of last year. So pregnancy was great. Ivanna and I have been steady in both of our jobs. I got promoted. Ivanna started having more hours. This house has literally turned into a home.
Yeah, we've been doing normal people stuff, especially after you guys saw us go from like California in an RV and getting stuck and stranded. We're definitely living a way different life now, but it's also a challenge to find dependency in the Lord in those moments, and especially now in parenthood, which, as I said before, like we just don't want her whole personality to be like, we're pregnant, we have a kid, now we're in parenthood, but it really does play such a big part. And I think both of us have just like been really speaking to the Lord about what this is like. So it's like, even through my pregnancy, like, yes, we prayed and we really believed. And even when I didn't believe that I would have a supernatural pregnancy, like I had no symptoms and it was really, really great. And the only thing that came up was my thyroid. Other than that, like, it was just the Lord's mercy and like his grace that I got through it that way. And we'll talk about the labor some other time because that's just a whole nother story. But I feel like we should share with them about what the Lord has been speaking to us about. And I'll start with pregnancy. I think it was like supernatural to have a human inside of me and to like be one with her, even though she is her own person, and to understand that she is literally she was inside of me, just receiving everything she needed from me. And the Lord would speak to me about how it's like I was her secret place because he would meet with her while he was knitting her, and the understanding of like, that's how we are with the Lord, that we're just to abide and like everything else will come and we can trust in him. And so to me, that was like so, so huge. And just seeing her go from like this tiny little seed all the way to like the human that she is now. She's still very small. But the human that she is now, it's like, that's how we are in Christ, how we're growing up. And at first it doesn't look like anything's happening, but then you begin to show and other people can see that you're growing up into Christ and you're bearing fruit. And then after that, it's like you come into the world and it's like, oh, wow, you really have been transformed. You're walking like it. And it's a different level of glory. So for all you pregnant moms, I'm sure I'll have some moms on the podcast and we'll talk about it because it's been a whirlwind just to experience the Lord like that. And I'm very blessed to have a whole community of just spirit filled, really faith filled mamas that will have a lot to say about it. But as a dad, what do you feel like the Lord either spoke to you about or is speaking to you about?
I think during the pregnancy, it was more of my role as a husband. Definitely towards the latter months, it got really hard for Ivana to just do some of the normal things, even though she pushed herself way beyond what she should have done.
Don't push yourself.
There comes a moment where the normalcies of life now become difficult, and when you're married without the pregnancy, like you sort of have this fun filled yet serious, like, hey, I know you can handle yours, like let me handle mine.
I'm gonna handle mine.
But then, then you really have to switch your mindset, like I'm going to take care of everything for you. And it's not out of pity, it's because I love you and I care for you and I care for your well-being and the well-being of our child. And so I think as a husband during pregnancy, there was just a conviction of just, am I not am I doing enough, but it's, am I putting the needs of my wife above my own, and am I going to that extent of being excellent as a husband? And I think that's like, it was such an important lesson to learn during pregnancy, because the moment that Daisy came, we,
I needed him for everything.
not only that, but she needed me as a father too. Like my wife needed me to be a father, and like during pregnancy, you needed me to be your husband. And so it's like a
Like as a
both
father
and.
to me or a father to her?
No, father to Daisy, like
Okay.
to take responsibility of the fatherly roles. But I think it became a both and. Like if I had not received the conviction to like work towards excellence in being a husband during that season, it would have been very difficult for me to step into this season as a dad and own it. Like take responsibility, do what needs to be done. Like she said, we'll have a whole separate podcast about the labor and talk about that. But like something kicked into hyperdrive, and I was like her doula, like just
Yeah, he
doing.
really was everything.
And so I think God just really, he's been showing me a lot more since Daisy's come. And I think that's also a sign of just like dads to be, take it very serious, the pregnancy, and take the time to like be with him and meet with him, because there is probably a lot more that I could have learned during the pregnancy. But I think I was still wrapped up around like, man, this is it. Like we're hunkering.
Enjoy it. Enjoy.
Yeah, we were doing everything that we could to enjoy our alone time and the fun things like that. But I think on a not negative, but on a vulnerable side, I was really like, this is it. Like I'm either going to be hunkered down in Dallas for the next 17 years, or like, God, you're going to like build something in us to like really do the both and. I grieved and I struggled, but like nonetheless, like something broke open, and it was towards those latter months.
And honestly, he is the most amazing dad. And I couldn't have done like labor or like the last months of pregnancy without you. But what would you say is like one advice that you have for like younger single men to prepare for fatherhood? Because you have 9 months to prepare for fatherhood essentially, but also there's just like something that happens that can happen in your heart over time to prepare for like a blessing like our daughter.
Yeah. I mean, read the gospel. Like everything inside of the gospels is like, if Jesus came to reveal the Father, it's because the Father's heart for people was embedded in Jesus's ministry. And you read the scriptures and you start to see the things that have to start applying now. That if not applied now meaning like a young single man, it'll just make it that much more difficult to apply it when you have to.
Yeah.
I just would say, like, the gospel is enough to prepare you for, like, parenthood.
Not you sounding like Peter Lewis. It's enough for your marriage, enough for parenthood. It really is, though. It honestly is.
What about you?
I would say, as a woman, let yourself be fathered by God, like not only unto motherhood, but unto marriage and unto friendship. Like, let the Lord love you, and from that place, then respond. I think even as a mom, I have to like just let him father me a lot into how I'm supposed to parent. Or in the moments where it's like 3 a.m. and I'm so tired, and I'm like, how would he respond to me if I came and I was crying and I had a need? And just like be really present in the season where you're at. I think there's so many women that I know that they're just like so excited to get married, and marriage is amazing and parenthood is amazing, but we've said it before, it's not going to fulfill you. Like my child and my husband and my marriage and my life cannot withhold the weight of glory that only God can hold. And so I think just allow yourself to be fathered through those seasons and enjoy them fully, because everything else did end up coming. And I think I spent so much time longing that I missed on certain seasons. And not that we like miss out on something that the Lord can't redeem, but I'm here and I'm like really present in the now. I'm like, she's so small. Like part of me is like, when she's 3 months old, she'll be, but I'm like, no, like she's only 3 weeks old. Let me be present in this and know that the Lord is present with me. So let him father you and be really present in that moment.
Well, this will be really fun to answer after that, but what would you say, just to give people that are watching and listening, like our update, if you were to sort of cast a small vision for our family? And so this is not becoming present for a moment, but if you were to cast a vision of since birth, what have you really kind of felt the Lord saying over our family, or like any desires, dreams, anything has awoken that you feel is setting a course for just the brand new?
That's a lot. I think the vision for a family is like a presence centered family. Like my biggest prayer for her is that she would hear his voice and know his leading and know him as an intimate friend. And so that's my prayer for her and for a family, that like we would understand that Christ himself dwells with us here in this home because of the Holy Spirit, that he's with us when we're changing diapers, the same that he's with us if we're preaching to nations. And so I think for me, it would be the simplicity of having union with Christ in everything you do, which is obviously not simple. Like you're one with God. That's just crazy. But thinking about it, like everything you do is done in union. And I think we've talked about this before, but how there's just no difference between the sacred and the secular. Like everything we do is unto him and it's done with him in mind. And so for me, it would be that our family would do that, whether that is like the people that come over and we like minister to them and they minister to us, or worshiping or doing missions, or like I said, just changing a diaper, just being aware that you're in union with God in that moment, that we would be aware that he's in the room.
I think if I were to piggyback off of like a vision, when Daisy was here, I really took an assessment of my walk with God, and I asked myself this question: that if Daisy would be alert right now, like if she would see me right now, like would she see Christ?
That's
And
good.
I think that there's aspects of my day to day that she would definitely see it, because there's fruits of the spirit that are not hard to kind of grab a hold of anymore. Like you can pick patience off of me.
For real.
You can pick the fruit of joy, and those are the things that I think Daisy is going to be really aware of. But if she were to see
Your
my
habits.
my habits, my dedication, my love sickness, I don't know if like I've arrived, and I know we don't, but I want to be able to let her into my secret place and let her see why I love God the way that I do, not just in the missions field and outside, but even in the home. Vision for the family is like how to bring our secret places to the living room, because she's going to be with us right now, right here in our living room. And while we're talking to you, when this camera turns off, are we going to be praising the Lord and honoring God in all of our conversations and the way that we minister to her? And I think all of these things have been really highlighted and been made aware. And I think even as a dad, I've been talking to Ivanna about this a lot, where Daisy could have been an extra excuse to kind of just be simple and wait for another promotion at the job, get a better house, do the thing, have the 2.5 kids in the 2-car garage and all the stuff. Like,
Sounds nice.
I think Daisy has really made me aware of the things that I've been sitting on, the same way that the last servant was sitting on the talent that was gifted to him by the master and just really did nothing with it. And I think I'm looking at myself and I'm like, God, you've given me a lot of talent and a lot of gifts, and I've just not used it. And so it's time. And she's giving me the awareness to do that.
Yeah, you might be hearing her in the background. She's kind of waking up a little bit, so this is right on time. But I think it's that, like, we have been given our greatest disciple. I think we're always like thinking about discipleship as like the people around us, but the greatest ministry happens in our home. And she is going to be a byproduct of our relationship with God and the way that she sees the Lord. And we're going to be the first people that she associates with God. And so we're very aware that our first disciple has arrived and that we want to be really intentional with her. Even with you guys, we really just want to pour out from a place where we're full and where we're giving you of the overflow of our relationship with the Lord, which is why we took some time off, because it was just feeling like, let's produce some content rather than like, this is overflowing and we want to share it with you guys. So we are so thankful that you've been so patient with us, and we're so excited to podcast more. We don't know how much we'll be vlogging, but for sure, we desire to podcast. So
Yeah, I think we took all this time, and our marriage has just gotten 1,000
it's
times better.
flourishing.
Like, parenting has been so amazing. And I think outside of practical tips and things like that, that we'd love to share if you guys want. I think we're in a position to finally say, like, it's time to release what God has been giving us. And I'm getting to do that personally. Ivana's getting to do that personally. And we woke up this morning and was like, we can do this together too. And so I just piggyback off of what she just said. Like, our word for this year is consistency. Like, when she came, like, what can we bring consistency to? And this is something that we have a huge heart for, to bring consistency to. So I'm excited to podcast with her. I'm excited to support her if she kind of goes off and does her own few podcasts as a mama. It just means so much to me that while we were kind of breaking away from it all for so many months, like, we didn't know when we were going to come back, and to see that it's possible, to see that we're doing it with our little one just napping right next to us. It just means the world to know, like, we're not just putting our talent in the ground.
Yes. Well, we love you guys. We're so thankful for you. Did I have something in my hair?
Yeah.
He just took something out of my hair that might have been there the whole time. But we will see you guys soon. Send us in your questions. Also, comment down below if Derek should also cut his hair and join the mom chop. He could have a dad chop. Did you not like that? Yeah, just comment down below. Let us know.
Okay.
And whatever you guys want to hear about. We love you guys.
Love you
We'll see you
guys.
soon.
Peace.